Hey, everybody, welcome to WOTB, home of the Over the Bars podcast. We're live in studio, coming to you live from Lee Summit, Missouri. It's currently 4 after 7. That's 56 till the hour. I'm here with my guest, Mike Garrison, number 247, Believe the Impossible. Mike, how you doing tonight on this wonderful Tuesday evening?
You know, Jeff, we're doing real well. It's 56 and clear outside with a high of 60, low of 41. Chance of precipitation, 10 degrees, 10%.
There you have it, everybody. Mike Garrison live in studio. All right, let's go to the call lines. And it appears that nobody's calling, and that's fine because we don't have phones here at the Over the Bars podcast, WOTB. All right, now a word from our sponsors. Well,
still nothing.
Nothing, no. However, let's just go ahead and dial in our sponsors list. Number 1, Donnell's, Suzuki, Honda, Kajiva, Mako, and CZ. Thank you to Donnell's, located on East 40 Highway in Independence, Missouri. They are your...
What is the full address?
I don't know. I know Freedoms, but I can't remember Donnell's.
Oh, that's terrible.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know it either.
Mike.
I know the phone number.
816
478
93
93.
Call Donnell's if you want a smoking hot deal on a brand new RMZ 450.
What is Woolburg Motocross Promotions phone number?
Oh, that's easy. 816-456-RACE.
Yes. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing ever.
My grandparents' old phone number was 816-331-HOME.
Really?
4663.
Home.
Yep.
Wow.
Do you remember my phone number?
Hold on.
Because I remember yours.
331. 6934.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now yours
Is that still Jerry C's phone number?
No, he hasn't had a landline in the house for 10 years plus. No, shit. It was probably been since 2006.
Oh.
I don't know. Whatever the last year was that we had Green Valley. So 2007. That's whenever he killed the landline. Mike Garrison, 816-525-5378.
It might have been.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Mike's got a case of the winter cough.
We just got to talk about this cough for a minute. I was fine 30 minutes up until we started this. 15 minutes.
Have you talked to anyone all day?
No.
Well, that's the problem. I got in. We started shooting the shit.
I literally got into this office this morning at 5:30. No, I'm sorry. 5:45.
Okay.
And I've been sitting here by myself until you arrived.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a really exciting day.
That's what it's like to be a small business owner.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to jump back to that.
Okay.
Finishing out our sponsors. Also, thank you to Bar to Bar MX, located in the beautiful southern part of the Kansas Flint Hills, just due south of the Arkansas River. Bar to Bar MX, located in Mays, Kansas. Your ultimate sand track, located right here in the heart of the Midwest, right off of I-35. Only 2.5 hours north of Kansas City. 2.5 hours north of Oklahoma City, 2.5 hours south of Kansas City. I-35 connects Canada and Mexico, and it's smack dab right in the middle. So if you are from Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Canada,
Mexico,
New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa. I think I said Iowa already. Illinois, Arkansas, Nicaragua, Chihuahua, and Calgary, Alberta. Feel free to come to round number 1 of the Kansas versus Oklahoma border battle.
When is round number 1?
Round. Number 1. Is I was kind of doing that to stall. I don't remember. It's coming up in it's Halloween weekend so I think October 28th.
That's very weird for a race series to start this late in the year.
It's a 2-race series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one is, I believe, the second weekend of November, located at Tulsa MX. So Kansas has a race at Bar to Bar
Okay.
on Halloween weekend.
Okay.
And then Oklahoma has a race at Tulsa. They used to only do the Oklahoma-Kansas border battle at Bar to Bar, but then they realized, this isn't really necessarily fair to have one race in Kansas to, be the deciding factor.
Okay.
So the TMX and B2B teamed up for that. So it's a 2-race series. Rep your state that you're from, Kansas, Oklahoma. Feel free to come, even if you're from Missouri or any of the other surrounding states, Arkansas to TMX, Arkansas to Bar to Bar. There is Saturday practice from 10 to 2 at both races. And then race day on Sunday. Bar to Bar runs a really quick program. I would expect the same out of the Baker family at TMX. I've actually never been to Tulsa in its, I don't know what, almost 20 years of being open. I don't have a reason, honestly.
I didn't know that was the Bakers.
It has been, yeah. Baker Boys Yamaha turned, whenever they sold the Yamaha dealership, somewhere in there, they turned into owning the Tulsa track.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, cool.
So there's that. That's the 2-race series. KMCS, Kansas Motocross Championship Series, they have their final round of the series coming up soon. Don't quote me on that exactly, but more importantly, the KMCS awards banquet is coming up, and go to kansasmx.com and check that out. Now, the cool part is Over the Bars podcast has sponsored the KMCS along with my sticker company, Ribbon Ruts. OTB is going to do an exclusive interview with the most improved rider of the year on big bikes, and then Ribbon Ruts is going to give a full sticker kit for a mini bike rider to the most improved little bike rider of the year. So it's up to the track. I believe the track promoters and the series officials are going to get together and decide who it is that they want to award that to. Ooh. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of cool because it's, who's it going to be? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows.
What if it's you?
It's not going to be me because you have to finish. You have to race the champ. You have to be in the championship series.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was good from day one, so I can't improve anymore.
Ooh.
That's what it's like to be awesome.
What if it's Scott? You should nominate Scott.
I should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scotty G.
Or Colin.
Again, they haven't done the entire series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who has done the entire series? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, because I don't follow any series. Like I don't go to any,
You don't go because it's a series. You just go because you're going.
I just go because I'm going. Yeah. That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Single event guy.
Okay.
Next year. So, here's what I'm getting ready to do. In the off season of this year, and I'm really excited to announce this because, number one, I love making flyers.
Okay.
And number two, I've always wanted to just have a set schedule of, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to this place.
Okay.
And the dates are going to be loose, but I'm going to do a tour schedule, so to speak. So like how bands will release those badass like tour flyers with all the dates and all the venues and the cities.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that for Rippin' Ruts.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to try to not only take myself, but get some of the other Rippin' Ruts riders in on the deal to where there'll always be like 2 of us at every one of the races. And I would like to finally start selling Rippin' Ruts merchandise. So obviously Rider Supply was its thing. It did its thing. And I've been giving the shit away for a couple dollars per piece. I'm almost entirely out of Rider Supply stock. I love selling t-shirts. I love making t-shirts. I love the whole t-shirt thing. I love seeing people wear my shit. So Ribbon Ruts is going to start having some merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, beanies, etc.
Okay.
With that, at all these races, I'm going to take merchandise and I'm going to have my canopy and my truck and, whoever's with me, and we're going to be there just having a good ass time. And it'll be like a, like kind of not a party necessarily, because I can't go to the motocross track and not compete.
Not focus.
Not focused on the racing.
Yeah.
But I just want to make a thing out of it. It's just rip and ruts, be it these 10 races. So, example, Missouri State round 1, Kansas round 1, Oklahoma State get like Raynards, do the call or schedule the bar-to-bar Loretta qualifier, the Texas Pro Challenge, do the Cahokia State race on Labor Day weekend. Just like benchmark stuff that I've either done or always wanted to go to. I'm going to say, and it's going to be hard because a lot of tracks don't necessarily come out with their schedule until a week before, essentially. Yeah. So what I want to do is just have a general vibe of, I want to go to this race. It'll be whenever it is.
Yeah.
But it's going to be listed on that.
Just like the tour dates, to be announced.
TBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that I want to be a part of with other, or I want other people to be a part of it with me, because going to the races and racing is fun, but obviously the reason we go is the camaraderie, secondary to the competition.
Your bros.
Yeah. Now there's a lot of people that go for the camaraderie, then the competition. And I'm totally fine with that. Whatever it is that gets people to the motocross track, I'm a fan of that.
You're going for competition, then camaraderie.
I'm trying
Your merchandise seller
yeah,
is going for camaraderie, then competition.
Well, what if I take Brandon Yates with me? Or what if I take Colin Fletcher with me? What if we go together?
Then there is no merchandise being sold, and there was no one hanging out the truck. You guys are just racing.
Actually, the best day of merch sales I ever had was at the Cahokia State race whenever I was on Nick Peterson's Husky 250. Excuse me, I almost said 300.
Whoa.
Oops.
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah.
That was for Rider Supply.
Yeah. I sold a shit ton of stuff that day.
So Rider Supply, just what made you put the kibosh on that?
It was,
first of all, for those that don't know what Rider Supply was, what was Rider Supply?
Rider Supply was just simply, I was trying to have an action sports brand. I wanted to bridge the gap between skateboarding, BMX, motocross, wakeboarding, snowboarding, etc. Essentially like the X Games lifestyle. I wanted to combine that all in one. That's why I named it Rider Supply instead of Moto Supply. And it's really hard to create an image. With Rip and Ruts, I already have an image. So I can ride off of that. But whenever I was like, and again, whenever I started Rider Supply, I didn't even really know who I was as a person. I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how I was going to get there or who I was, to get myself there. As time went on, I started the brand, bought a shit ton of merchandise, like thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Yes.
I made my money back and some. But, however, it was a hard hustle to get done. The thing about t-shirts, dude, is unless you have like an absolute image, i.e. Buttery Films, okay, that kid can sell fucking t-shirts to a t-shirt vendor. You see what I'm saying? Like, like he has no problem selling t-shirts because he has his image.
Yeah.
Every single person that follows Buttery, is into them, isn't going to have a hard time spending $20. At the time, whenever I did Rider Supply, I was, 20... I just turned 25, 24, 25, somewhere in there. And the problem was that outside of my immediate social network, I really didn't have, and I don't mean online, I really didn't have a lot of presence, fibers, connectivity, however you want to say it. My networking wasn't very good. So whenever Joey Bob says he's going to buy a t-shirt from me, fuck yeah, great. Well, then whenever he buys a t-shirt from me, and then the next Joey Bob says, man, I'd really like to have that t-shirt. How much are they? $20. Okay. And it's just kind of like, To them, it's just a T-shirt.
Yeah.
They have to go. See, the thing is, they have to go to the Rip and Ruts, or at the time, Rider Supply, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, and see the image. All I had was shit for sale.
Yeah.
I didn't have an image. I just had cool stuff. If you don't have an image, your cool stuff isn't going to sell itself. You can have an image and have shitty stuff, and the shitty stuff will sell because people are not buying the logo on the shirt. They're not buying the design. They're not buying the comfort of the shirt. They're buying into the image that you're selling. That's why Fox is so successful. They have the best brand image in motocross. They were the original developers of motocross brand image. And as we remember, a lot of the Fox stuff from the 80s literally said image on it. That was one of their lines of gear.
Yeah, it did.
That was before 360 and 180.
Yeah, you're right.
So I didn't have the image. I just had shit for sale. Then, you get a lot of motocrossers want to be sponsored. And being sponsored means they want stuff for free. And I can only give away so much stuff. And I gave stuff away to a couple people that did not share my enthusiasm, and it ended up biting me because I was thinking these people are quote unquote popular. They have a following. They'll get me, by association sales. It didn't work that way.
They didn't go on Instagram and post your T-shirt.
And if they did, it was a very terrible selfie in a mirror with the flash on.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. And it just doesn't work. Then I moved to Florida. And I was not racing a lot. I was simply riding at practice tracks, a lot of private practice tracks. And there's 4 people at the track, and all of them have gear deals.
Yeah.
And merchandise deals. So they had no need, for my shit and couldn't help me either. That's like whenever I was living in Florida and hanging out with Kenny regularly. He's like, dude, I love your shit, but there's nothing. He's like, I don't know what to do. I can't do anything for you because I'm, my hands are tied with Fox.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I understand that. Dude, it's crazy. I have thousands of followers that are fans of Kenny just from being in his Instagram story, or he made a couple posts that I was in of us fucking around with like scratchers tickets and that kind of stuff.
The Trans World video.
What Transworld video?
The one where you're sitting in the garage?
Oh, well, there's that also.
I don't know if you ever got tagged in that, but.
No, I don't believe that I did. But I was also, what I was doing is whenever I would go to the track and ride, I would take photos and videos of the guys riding on the Supercross track. Oh. And then I would post those and then tag them in it, and then they would repost it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the greatest way to get fans, or not fans, but followers, is by having someone that's famous repost your shit. That's it. And so like Kenny, Adam, Ryan, Marvin, they would tag me in their shit that they were posting that I took of them. Jason also. And then that got me, their group. But yeah, Kenny was like the number one guy that got me followers. And I think I've got like 42 something, 4,200 followers. And I bet a solid 1,000 of those are just by proxy of Ken.
I don't know why you didn't give up Fox for Rider Supply.
Honestly, big picture, it would have panned out a lot better for him.
Yeah.
Probably would have avoided the whole broken arm thing.
Yeah.
The whole Honda thing.
Yep.
We would have steered him in a much better path.
Yeah. Kajiva.
Easily. No. Bombardier. Bombardier.
Yeah. Okay.
Bears and side by sides if it was up to me.
Those have been burning down to the ground a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think I finished what I was saying about.
No.
So okay, Rider Supply. I moved to Florida. I wasn't selling to anybody there, and then whenever I moved back to Kansas City, after the year that I was down in Florida, I was just overlugging that shit around, and I just put it in the storage in my race shop, and just kind of forgot about it for a couple years. It was just out of sight, out of mind. I was working at FedEx, like Corey, and it didn't work out. And, I started another business doing landscaping.
You did landscaping?
Yeah, I went and bought a commercial mower and a trailer, and yeah, I did.
What was the name of it?
Tidy Up.
Ripping ruts.
Tidy Up.
Tidy Up.
Let's tidy up that lawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you do that? I do not remember this at all.
Did it for a year.
You remember? I remember when you moved to Florida because I came to buy your bike.
Yeah, after I left.
I showed up and I said, "Where's Jeff?" And your dad said, "He moved to Florida today." And I said, "Oh."
Yeah, because I remember I was waiting around at my dad's for you to show up, and then I asked you, I was like, "When are you going to be here?"
And I was going to be late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just left.
Yep. Just went to Florida.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Long drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed with my friend in St. Louis on the way there, and then stayed with my other buddy, Kyle, in Atlanta on the way there.
And you worked for FedEx while you were down there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yep. Got fired 4 times while I was there.
You got fired?
I've never been fired from a job in my life, and I got fired 4 times while I was there.
But then rehired 4 times?
Yeah.
How did you get fired 4 times?
The first time, let me think. The first time, the guy that I went to work for replaced like a 10-year employee that he had. So, slightly to back up, people that don't know how FedEx Ground works, it's like a franchise. So you buy into FedEx Ground, you supply the truck, you supply the drivers, you deliver the FedEx Ground packages. Trucks say FedEx Ground, packages say FedEx Ground, the driver wears the FedEx Ground uniform the same way that like Taco Bell, McDonald's, etc. have franchises. But all the people working behind the counter are wearing Taco Bell uniforms. Their check doesn't say Taco Bell on it. It says, Tacos Incorporated, DBA, Taco Bell 4073 store number.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So FedEx Ground is the same deal. Huh. So I worked for a contractor, and this guy, Mike, super great dude, lost an employee, and I replaced him. And the guy that I replaced, Tyrone, moved
to Missouri?
No, he ran off with his mistress to Naples. Was down there for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah, like 4 weeks, less than a month.
Okay.
And realized he made a critical mistake. And called Mike and said, "I'm coming back. I need my job back." And like Mike and Tyrone were boys. So
you got fired.
One Friday night, I'm getting ready to walk out. I'm walking out of the station. Mike's standing around. He parked right next to my truck. Like, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, we got to have an awkward conversation." I was like, "Well, I'll take that as I'm fired." He said, "I don't want you to think of it that way. It's just that, Tyrone's my guy." I said, "It's no big deal." And so then I went to work for another guy whose name...
So while you're thinking about his name...
it was like Javier or something like that.
So you could work for FedEx 4 different times, but it's not really FedEx. You're not really working for FedEx. You're working for whoever owns that route?
Correct.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like the FedEx ground driver that you see here works for DR Sherry Incorporated, contracted service provider to FedEx Ground. Even says on the side of the truck. There's a little gray sticker at the bottom corner door, like the quarter panel.
Okay.
It says the name of the entity and then contracted service provider to FedEx Ground.
Never knew that.
Well, why would you look at that gray sticker?
No idea.
I know. So then I went to work for the Spanish guy, and he didn't fire me, but he transferred the company over to these people they came from commercial fishing in Chile. It's quite the wreck that's going on outside.
It's literally right outside our window.
Yeah. So these people came in looking to expand their commercial fishing in America, but they needed, I don't know, it was all explained to me. Dude, we went to their fucking corporate offices on like the 28th floor of the nicest building in downtown. Okay, the typical contractor at FedEx has a little office like what we're sitting in right now, and like your dad's office, papers are stacked this fucking high. You can't, it's one-man show type of deal. These people, dude, we had a company handbook, not in a manila envelope. The pages were manila. Okay. It was like a hardcover binder book.
Like a coffee table book?
Essentially.
Yeah.
All right. So I went to work for them, and I did not get along with my manager woman, whose name was Marnie, I think. Mari. Yeah, Mari. For lack of a better word, she was a fucking stuck-up bitch. Dude, she had something up her ass. We didn't get along because she tried to tell me how to do my job, okay? And I could deliver circles around her and tell her how the FedEx contractor business worked up and down. She tried to get me to do something like, yeah, no, I know that you're lying to me. So we didn't get along. And then she fired me. And then I went to work for another guy, Joe, and his manager, Kyle, great people. And then one day on my route, I worked for Joe and Kyle for, I don't know, like 6 months, 7 months, something like that. The majority of my time, I had New Smyrna Beach was my route, and it was an awesome route. It's like it's one of the nicest beaches on the eastern seaboard.
Okay.
So I had New Smyrna Beach, which includes like this cute little downtown strip, and then an island, and then the inland area, and then they have the intercoastal waterway. So there's a shit ton of fishing. So on the inside of the waterway is Edgewater, which is the name of the town. Then you cross this giant bridge over the waterway, and then you have the actual island, or no. Yeah, like you can call it an island. And then again, there's another finger out that's even more of like an island. It's actually the beach. So I had New Smyrna Beach, awesome route, one of my favorite routes that I've ever had. And this little old lady bumped into the side of my truck while I was delivering a package in downtown New Smyrna. And it's similar to like downtown Lee Summit.
Okay.
Kind of just cute little old town brick buildings. And we had an accident report form that I had to fill out. I filled everything out to the T. I got all her information. We took photos. Documented it. I's were dotted, T's were crossed. I was on vacation the next week, and my manager was on vacation that week. I call him. Now, mind you, he's visiting he's like out doing campy stuff in a cabin in the Adirondacks. So I have no way of getting a hold of him. Joe, my actual contractor, the owner of the company, also flew airplanes for a living. So like the FedEx Ground business that he owned was just beer money for him. It was like literally just weekend cash for him. That's how much money Joe had. So Kyle was unreachable. I called him, left him a voicemail, texted him, the whole deal. And I said, hey, this little old lady bumped into me. It was a no damage accident. The report form, I said it was a not at fault, no damage incident, because at that point, it's not even an accident. Only things over $1,000 are called an accident as far as damages. So I had an incident. I said, Kyle, all the information is inside of my truck. Whenever you get in, because Kyle would come in on Monday mornings, just, whatever, paperwork, that kind of stuff. Because we work Tuesday through Saturday at FedEx Home Delivery, which is like the residential part of ground. Kyle decided that he was going to stay in the mountains for a couple more days. So he did not file the report form. Now, mind you, this happened at like 5 o'clock on a Saturday evening. There's nobody at the station, no managers, I did my due diligence, okay? Well, they, FedEx as a company, whenever Kyle finally turned the paperwork in on Wednesday, they're like, hold on. You're trying to tell me, the safety guy was like, you're trying to tell me that 5 days ago you had an accident, you're just now reporting it? So FedEx held Kyle and Joe under the microscope for like 2 or 3 months. Just looking for something, because if they find a pattern, what they can do is they can come to you and fine you $25,000 for a breach of contract.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's essentially like a 2-strike deal. If you fuck up one time, you get a slap on the wrist. If you fuck up a second time, it's a big fine. So they were just waiting for somebody at HD6, which was the name of the entity that I was working for. They were waiting for somebody at HD6 to screw shit up. So every day that I came to work, I didn't know if I was going to have a job or not for like 2 months. That was not very awesome. And then one day while I was out on route, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm over this, dude. I can't live my life like this. I either have to find a different contractor, go work at Express or UPS, or transfer back to Kansas City. And I was, thinking about all my options. I was like, Florida's awesome. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go back to KC. Friends, family, it's home. It's hard to beat. Plus, Chiefs. Plus, cost of living in Florida is a lot higher than it is here.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So I moved back, or I called the people here in the Kansas at the Lenexa FedEx Ground station. I said, hey, transfer my file. So they go in, and this is a crazy thing that you can do at the FedEx Ground company. It would be like if you had, let's say you here at Boom RC had an employee.
Okay.
And you also had another office in Tempe, Arizona. Okay. Now imagine if the manager of the store down there in Tempe got into your computer, pulled all of your files, and took your employee overnight. You show up to work and you got no employee and no files. The stations at FedEx Ground don't have a reason to do that, but they can. There's no incentive,
Yeah.
But they can pull an employee's file out and just make them disappear out of another station's file, out of their system. I called my station back here, said, pull my file. They did. I finished my day en route, and whenever I hung up my scanner, all my fucking information completely disappeared out of the FedEx Florida network.
Wow.
And then they found out that I did that, because I called my manager. I was like, hey, I'm done, dude. I'm not coming back next week. I'm sorry. And he totally understood. He's like, no, fuck them. This is FedEx's fault. They're doing this to us. Like, I totally understand. You have a career here. You need to maintain that. So somebody at the safety guy who he had a hard on for fucking me, or just making an example, he was the kind of guy that if he had the opportunity to throw the book at something, he was going to take it because it made him look good, like he was fixing problems for FedEx. Well, he did that, and I don't know if by hook or by crook, but one way or another, he got in and disqualified me from being a driver. Now, having your file pulled is one thing, but to be disqualified company-wide, that's another. And to undo a disqualification, which any safety manager at any region can disqualify a driver regardless of where they're at. They have no reason to, but they can. Well, this guy, he did with me. If 100 people a year get disqualified, maybe one of them get requalified. Disqualification is a permanent ban from FedEx. So if I wouldn't have come home to Kansas City, I wouldn't be a FedEx driver now, because I would have had that mark on my company file of being disqualified.
How'd you get not disqualified?
So there's 3 people that stepped in. The senior manager at the station that I came back to in Kansas City at the LNXL station, the contractor relations lady, so she's the one that she's essentially like HR for between FedEx and the contractors. So she's like the middle woman. And then the district safety rep out of Kansas. The 3 of them got together, and they all wrote, letters of recommendation, whatever it was, or giving examples of why FedEx is fucking up as a company by disqualifying me. It just so happened that I have the stops per hour record and most stops delivered in a day unassisted. Never had an accident. So they were essentially firing their best employee that they had in the district, period.
Do you get the same truck every day?
At the time, yeah, I did.
Do you now?
No.
Oh.
No, because I'm a swing driver, so I fill in for people. So, like, on Monday, I filled in for a guy that was off. And then today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, I'm filling in on one route for a guy that has the week off. Yeah. So, yesterday, I was in a Sprinter. Today, I'm in a regular, truck, like a package van, one of the larger ones.
So you can't rock like a Rip and Ruts 481 on your van because it's not your van.
Actually, I filled in on a route in Ottawa for about 3 months or so. The inside of that truck is loaded with motocross stickers. You'd think that was the most factory kitted FedEx truck there ever was.
Was it a truck or a Sprinter?
It's a truck.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's got fucking Wiseco, Bell Ray, Motosport, Rip and Ruts, KTM, Freedom Cycles, like all these stickers all over. And of course, I perfectly placed them. Like I didn't sloppy them bitches on. I made them look factory. If I could have, I would have put some on the outside.
What happens if you do that? Disqualified.
No, somebody will see it and they'll peel it off. One of the managers or one of the mechanics. Yeah. Yeah. I want to pause. I need some water.
Okay, pause.
Time in. We're back.
We've arrived.
I want to talk to you about Live MX.
Live MX, yes.
Yeah. You want to pull that thing just a hair closer to you? Thank you.
How about now?
Yes.
Whoa, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's also going to pick up those little gurgling sounds.
Yes. Okay.
Talk to me about Live MX. So it's going to be the official transponder of Supercross Futures.
Yes. So Live RC, who I work for, they have been broadcasting live RC races for years. So the parent company, or I guess it'd be like a sister company maybe, is Lifetime Scoring. They developed a score. Hold that thought. I'm getting all choked up talking about it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So they developed a scoring software that would be, I don't even want to say like Trackside.
Okay.
Because that gives you the impression that like they took Trackside and then they like changed the colors. Like it's totally different.
Yeah.
But it's a scoring software for motocross.
Okay.
But it's geared for transponders, that kind of thing. Well, they sell the loops, they sell the transponders, the whole works. So they came up with this scoring program, and there's been some tracks and stuff. It's big in RC. Everybody uses it.
Yeah.
But they kind of been pitching it to Supercross, Arena Cross, Motocross, all that kind of stuff. Well, this year Feld picked up on it, and they're going to be doing the Supercross Futures, and essentially the Lifetime crew, which doesn't necessarily include me because I am part of Lifetime, but I'm not. They will go and they handle all the transponders, they handle all the scoring, registration, everything. So, yeah. But it's also, like if you go on lifetimescoring.com, that's where you can buy your transponders.
Yeah.
Renew your transponders.
Are they MyLapse transponders?
Yes.
Okay.
So Lifetime is, I don't know if you want to say distributor, because I feel like they're more than a distributor of MyLapse.
Okay.
So I know it's weird because, and I don't even understand how all this works, but like MyLapse has their own deal, like Speed Hive or something like that.
Okay.
Which is live scoring. Then I know that like Trackside works with MyLapse, but so does Lifetime. So it's kind of like they're all competing, but they're not, but they are.
See, the thing about Trackside is I know that so like there's a MyLapse software.
Yes.
That plugs the information into Trackside.
Okay.
Now it's fully integrated from the live software where it's not like an additional piece of MyLapse software.
Correct.
Okay.
And the other thing is, so there'll be, I think it's live.livemx.com. Mm-hmm. Any track that runs it can have instant live scoring.
Wow.
So, and even it's not designed to be done without transponders, but let's say Kingsville.
Okay.
Okay, he doesn't want a transponder system, but he wants live time. So it'd be the same. You just enter the numbers or whatever, but you can get on your phone sitting in the pits and look at your results from the last moto.
Okay, and it wouldn't have the lap times, but it would have...
Right, it wouldn't have like all your stats, but it would have their instant results as soon as that person entered them in.
Yeah.
Or like race order, that's another big one. Like if they have like internet connection, it would, well, see, I don't know how that'd work again without transponders, but with transponders, like it'll say race 1 is running, race 2 is 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. And then the other thing that it does is it allows tracks to set up like webcams, or they can get as elaborate as they want. They can have multiple cameras if they want, but do their own broadcast of their races. So like Kingsville, for example, for the state race, if they had 3 people with decent, even an iPhone would probably do the trick.
Yeah.
But they could do a live broadcast of their races.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
All from one piece of software.
Yes.
Okay. Being fully integrated and under one roof is so important whenever it comes to these kind of systems, because so often whenever you're having to switch screens.
Yes.
And having to go, or like you have to run multiple physical screens.
Yes.
You're changing applications. That's a lot of CPU usage and gives a lot of room for error or mistake or complete loss.
And the guys that have done it, have put it together, made it, very smart. But they built it for guys like me who are program dummies.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's easy to figure out, easy to work. But if you have a problem, it's like instant. They have like an instant chat box thing, kind of like whatever.
Okay, so like a live help.
Yes, like a live help.
Yeah.
But even more than that, they've got a little programming thing that you can plug in, and they'll take over and do it for you.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, granted, if you're like, hey, I don't have time to get these guys signed in, they're not going to put your people in.
Right.
But if they're like, hey, my webcam's not working or whatever, they'll go in and...
That's cool. Then they run a diagnostic... That word.
That word.
Diagnostic.
But like, see, they've gone as far as like at the RC car races, they have literally rewritten the program. If like the race director's like, hey, I want to do some goofy format that's not part of it, they'll take 20-minute intermission while they're working on the track, rewrite the program. I'm not saying they'll do that for everybody, but for major races and stuff, if there's a weird, funny format or something, they can do that. It's pretty, it's gnarly. But where I would come in per se with like Live MX would be if they do like, let's say they did a broadcast from Mammoth.
Okay.
If they did the timing scoring for Mammoth, and they also can hire Live MX to do, which is different than Live Time, but Live MX would do the broadcast, like the video broadcast, the announcers, not the track announcers, but like the you watch them on the internet. Those announcers, that's where I would come in.
Okay.
So I don't think Supercross Futures, I don't think that the Live MX broadcast has been talked about. I think it's just solely the scoring right now. But for tracks that are wanting to do a broadcast, they could.
I could see Feld at very minimum doing it once.
I could see that.
You know,
just to see.
Just to see how it works. Yeah. And honestly, if it works phenomenally, I could see them, the more opportunities that they have to consolidate,
Yep.
and this is all corporations, they're going to take.
Yep.
So they could, number one, start with Supercross Futures. Number two, dabble in the live broadcast.
Yep.
And possibly replace Race Day Live.
All with one.
Then you're on with one program.
Yep.
And then, then you're starting to operate in a very high caliber situation there.
And essentially, like you're saying, they would contact my bosses for any of that. And Lifetime would provide all of that, basically. And, you know, like I say, it trickles down all the way down to the, you know, the local tracks and things like that. And again, it's not not designed to not be used with transponders, but it can be used without transponders, just doing hand scoring and things like that. So, yeah. Now, the other problem, this is a little bit different with like RC cars and motocross, is most motocross tracks are in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I know that for some of the RC stuff, they had some options available at one time, like through Verizon, that offered like cell service, like mobile hotspots basically, with the lifetime scoring. But I don't know if that's still going on or if that transfers over to the motocross stuff or not. But internet would be a big thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of places where motocross tracks just,
Not going to have internet.
And, okay, because of that, that is the one thing about Lap King that I have had an issue with is, and it's not the posting at the times. It's not loading. Loading the track can be kind of a pain in the ass whenever you have like 2 bars of 3G.
Yeah.
But finding your location is kind of a hard deal. So, however, the tracking is perfectly fine with bad cell service, and they've got this new GPS unit that they're running that goes on the top of your helmet. It's a tiny little thing. It's the size of a like 2 matchbooks stacked on top of each other. And it's a GPS tracking unit. And it Bluetooth connects with your phone. But check this out. You connect your device to the timing unit. You go out and ride, and it pings every, whatever point. It pings a lot. Okay. Then you get done with your moto. You come back and connect your device or repair your shit.
Okay.
And then upload all the information, and then boom, there's your laps. It shows all your lap information.
That is cool.
Versus having to take your phone out on the dirt bike track with you,
Yeah.
which the original version that was the idea.
Yeah.
And like they made this case that goes on your helmet, and it was a good idea. A lot of people had a hard time. I don't want to take my $1,000 phone on my helmet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. That's why I ran a fanny pack.
Yeah.
I would ride with the fanny pack and the Lap King running. And it was flawless for me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to ride the motocross bike on the motocross track with a fucking fanny pack.
No, yeah, I can see that.
I could see that also. That doesn't surprise me.
Talking about Lap King, that's the other thing that on the RC side, which I'm assuming would be the same on the motocross side, is you can go in and type in Jeff Crutcher.
Yes.
And it will tell you, Jeff Crutcher has raced all of these places. Here's his results.
Right.
And you can do all the fine details and all that. So in that sense, it would be cool if a track is using transponders to be able to say, hey, check this out. Last month, Jeff turned a 55-second lap at Grain Valley. Or for like Hook It, for example, for like results.
That'd be fucking badass if it automatically updated into Hook It.
Exactly. So I don't think that's part of it yet, but as a rider, you could easily gather your results. Any race you went to that had lifetime scoring, it's stored in the worldwide database.
Yeah.
And you can look it up.
See, that's one of the cool things about Lap King is, let's say you go to Grain Valley and you pull up to the track and you load the track map. It shows all lap times.
That would be cool.
Or it shows the top lap time from everybody that's tracked a lap time there.
Yeah.
And then you can divide it up by 50, 60, 85, 125, 250, 252 stroke, or 250F and 450. Yeah, so you can divide it up even by bike size. It's a pretty cool feature. So all the information is there, posted by everyone that's ever had a lap at that track.
So now, okay, so Lap King, is the app free and you buy a subscription, or do you buy the app?
No. The app is free.
Okay.
The subscription is like $9 a month.
Okay. I got you.
$120 a year to track all your times.
So if you downloaded the app, but didn't care about your times, you just want to see somebody else's times, do you still have to download the subscription to just see times?
I don't know the answer to that. Actually,
I was just curious. I didn't know.
I'm not sure either, because at one time you couldn't.
Okay.
But I don't know if they've changed that since. They've changed the app pretty significantly in the year that I've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, obviously, I would have no use for the Lap King subscription, but it
Yeah.
would be cool to be able to see. I don't know if you're with somebody at the track and you're like, oh, hey, that guy turned to whatever.
Yeah.
Be able to look at a laptop.
What's your lap time, bitch?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh, you could even use that announcing too.
It doesn't post them live. No, actually, wait.
Well, even if it didn't, though, I mean, you could say,
Or in the second moto, you could pull up,
Yeah.
Brandon Yates ran a 147. Yeah.
I mean, some of the stats that they come up with for race announcers is absolutely ridiculous.
But hey, well, why not have them?
Why not have them?
Right there, ready to roll.
Yeah.
The last thing that because we're going to make this a quickie.
Okay.
I want to bring up the ROTY.
Rody?
Nope.
Roddy.
Yes.
Okay.
ROTY stands for Race of the Year.
Okay.
The Roddy.
The Roddy.
Yeah.
The Roddy. The OTB Roddy?
Yeah, the OTB Roddy Award goes to Riverfront GP coming up Thanksgiving weekend.
Ooh, are you racing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Duh.
Are you putting a big tank on?
If I can, yeah, I'm sure I can get one. I can get my hands on
How
one.
long is the race?
2 hours.
So you're going to, would you have to make a stop in 2 hours?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, last year. See, well, now I had a slight mechanical with my tank. I don't know what happened, but it there was something wrong with the hose.
Okay.
On that bike, and it would vapor lock. So I think what it was is that the valve was put in backwards from the cap because, dude, started perfectly fine on the line. As soon as I going into the first corner, my bike just won't go, dude. It's like like bogging out real bad. I'm having to clean it out and shit on the trail while ramming into dudes, for position on the first lap in the trail, dude. And as I was racing, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I reached down and I was like, maybe my choke was off. And as my hand was coming back up, I was like, it's vapor locking. I've never, ever had a bike vapor lock ever in my life. And yet something made me just reach up and grab the hose, and I yanked the hose off. And as soon as I did, the bike ran perfect.
Really?
Yes.
Why did you think to do that?
I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I truly don't. It just the way the bike was running, it was like it was running out of gas. Like it wasn't getting fuel. So you know how whenever you run out of gas, the bike starts idling high, pinging, because there's not enough fuel?
Yeah.
That's what it was doing, but bogging at the same time. But it was running perfectly fine up to the line. It's like now the bike is hot and it's running bad. What the fuck? I was like, it has to be some of the tank, because it was the only thing that I changed from the last time I rode to that time. So I yanked the hose on the top of the tank, ran perfectly fine for the rest of the race. However, that fucking hose, dude, sprayed me with fuel for 2 hours. Okay? So the top quarter of the tank was gone within a lap just from it splashing out.
And your nuts were on fire.
No, I've never had that problem. I've never gotten the gas rash that people get. Oddly. So the bike ran perfectly fine after that, but the first top of the gas was totally gone. I mean, it took it to where it was half tank before it stopped splashing out. I pitted at the 1 hour mark. Yeah, so halfway through the race. So four laps and I rode 4 laps. I don't know. I could look it up, but I don't care that much. I pitted. Dude, I was in third for a while in the race.
Did you have a quick change fuel? Like the ones where you come in and you're kink up the top?
No, I had a twist off cap.
Oh.
Yeah. But you can go back to the Riverfront Hype episodes from last year, and I openly state, I do not care how long it takes me to pit.
Okay.
I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to set the bike on the stand. I'm going to take the cap off. I'm going to fuel
You
it.
pitted yourself.
Well, Skyler, God damn it, kid from Warrensburg, rides a Honda.
Okay.
I can't believe I forget his last name. Skyler pitted for me because he came down with Chad Wigan.
Okay.
Chad Wigan pretty much quit racing dirt bikes after this race. I don't think he's rode but once since then.
Not much fun. That's why it's Race of the Year. That's why it's Roddy.
That's why it's the Roddy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I pitted, I threw chain lube on. I put new goggles on. I put new gloves on. I went out and I just rode my fucking race, dude. And I got sixth. And I was very, very happy with that.
So are we going to take it to the next level this year?
Okay. So here's my progression with.
Okay. Not changing gloves.
With the Roddy.
Okay.
All right. So number one, first time I went, I DNF'd.
Okay.
The second time I went, I got a top 10. The third time I went last year, I got sixth. Okay. So I was one off of the top 5. My goal was to get 5th. So now this year, I got to get a top 5. That's the goal.
Okay.
Is the top 5 it.
I would say maybe cut the glove change out.
That's not why I didn't get
Chain lube, is that necessary?
No.
Okay.
It was just I just got beat.
Don't wash the bike in between.
I fucking ate shit so hard though, dude. Like high speed, third gear off of a sand roller. And there's like a couple of these real big sand rollers that are probably about 8 feet tall or so. Dude, you're coming on this right hand sweeper, just up the face of this thing. The bike, like I skipped over one of the bumps because what I was doing is I was like pre-hopping and jumping, catching backside off of a roller because this fucking roller is 8 foot high.
Okay.
I was hitting a sand whoop before it and jumping over it. That's how big the sand whoops get. Well, I skipped it. I went one too far and landed down at the bottom of the face of the roller, and the bike like caught high-sided, threw me up and over. I went off of the face of like the top of the roller, like maybe 1/10 of on the bike.
1/10.
Yeah.
1/10.
So like my fingers were the only thing.
Okay.
Dude, this is in the most open field part of the track of the course.
Okay.
I nailed the one tree. It was right there on the backside of that bitch. And it was just, it was like a 2-inch sapling. But, dude, it ripped my fucking handguard off. It gave me a little bit of a stinger. It wasn't a concussion, but it was one of those ones where I was like, and like I got up and I was like, I'm okay. Okay. Am I okay? And like my wrist, dude, I slammed my wrist and I was like, oh, dude, I think I broke my wrist. And I did that thing, where you're like, and you move it and it's like, okay, it's good. Let's go, dude. As I jump back on the bike and my fucking shit's all twisted up. I'm down a handguard. And I had just passed Cole Hensley and Harrison Helmick. So I was back into 4th. So I was in 6th, back into 4th. Dude, we were having this epic battle, the three of us. They had me in the woods. I had them in the rollers and the bowls and like all the chop stuff, dude. I had them. I high-sided, got kicked over the bike. Got up, both of them like jump over me, and then I get going and pass both of them back in like the same lap. That crash took a lot of steam out of me because, dude, I slammed so hard. It wasn't.
How long did you have left in the race?
Half.
Oh.
Yeah, it was about halfway through.
So it wasn't like you just had to finish a lap.
No.
Okay.
No, it was like a long-term recovery.
Okay.
So that happened, and then, dude, I just kind of got tight in the woods after that, because my wrist was hurting and my throttle governor started to come on, and it just wasn't happening in the woods. But I felt good overall. It was a good weekend. Had a lot of really good battles with guys that, are way, way better than me in the woods. And it's cool because it's an even playing field. Mm-hmm. I stand a chance. We go into the woods, they're going to fucking smoke me. Mm-hmm. We go out into the rollers, dude, and I'm capital G gone. After the races, dude, because I actually started next to Harrison, and then, we talked on the line, and he said he had listened to the podcast, and so we exchanged numbers on Instagram like a day later. So I was like, hey, dude, good ride, and he's like, hey, I live in Overland Park. I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea. So he's super hardcore woods racer. He lives in OP, so we go ride at Oakland together all the time. And, dude, we talked about that race whenever we went riding the next time. He's like, Jeff, I don't get it. How can someone go so fucking fast through rollers? He's like, it doesn't make any sense. He's like, I've never, ever in my life, ever gone that fast through sand. He's like, I was trying to keep up with you, and you were doing these fucking hop and skip and bunny hop and rear wheel place and tap and double and triple, and then these crazy lines. And I'm just making up straightaway speed, clicking third, fourth, fifth gear and letting the bike do the work for me. But it was just, dude, it's just whenever you're a motocross racer and you are constantly every corner coming in, braking bumps, rear wheel chatter coming out, going, hitting fucking acceleration chop, that kind of stuff. It's second nature to us because there's just bigger versions of that. Those rollers are. You race in the woods and they don't have that shit. I mean, they get chop. But dude, they're hitting fucking sticks and roots and trees and creek crossings and logs and rocks and that kind of stuff. So like whenever I'm hitting that stuff, I'm like, a novice rider, like with my elbows tucked in.
I feel like when you headed into the woods, you felt like he did when you guys headed into the rollers.
I'm like, how do you do that? Yeah, I was like, don't you have fear of hitting these trees, dude? Like, whoa.
That is wood, and it is hard.
Right, exactly. So it's, like I said, dude, it's the perfect mix, both motocross and woods. And I didn't know this. But, dude, there are so many people that went to that race because of the way that I talked about the race last year on the podcast.
And that's why it's this year's Roddy.
That's the Roddy of the year. It's the Roddy Award. Dude, fucking Iowa, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, people came just because they listened to the podcast. So because it's my Roddy, I'm going to try to get I'm going to call the guy that owns the GP or, owns the race. And I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. But I'm like, bro.
Roddy guy.
Mr. Roddy. Hello, is this Mr. Roddy? R-O-T-Y? Roddy? I'm looking for Roddy. I'm going to be like, bro, let's hype this fucking thing. Let's use my outlet because I want to get every motocross racer there. I want to get every A rider that we know that races dirt bikes to come and do this race. Because it is, dude, fuck Day in the Dirt, fuck Mammoth, fuck the works race at Havasu. Like, those are races that motocrossers go and do and they have fun and they like it. The Riverfront GP is the diamond in the rough whenever it comes to off-road races. It is the perfect race for motocrossers to do whenever it comes to off-road racing. And I can't stress that enough, dude. I mean, I want everybody to be there. For the A-riders, it pays a shit ton of money. It's $1,000 to win. Cha-ching! Yeah. So hopefully I can get some dudes to come down and do it.
Get rowdy at the Roddy.
Yep. So with that being said, that's Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. You should come and announce.
At the
Roddy. Yep.
For the 7 seconds you would pass by me?
And only 7 seconds, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff Crutcher leading the way. When he comes back in the next hour or two, we'll get back with you guys. In the meantime, grab something good at the concession stand.
Thanks for tuning in to WOTB. Yeah, so anything you'd like to close out with?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you've had a long work day. I've had a long work day. I clocked in at 6:20. Gebkin, he was supposed to come, but he couldn't make it. He was on the job site until 7:30.
Making sure everything's safe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Safety first with Scotty G. Yep. Safety Scott.
Safe.
Yes. Okay. So with that being said, goodbye. Thank you to Donnell's Motorcycles. Goodbye. And thank you to Bar to Bar MX. And thank you to the Kansas Motocross Championship Series found at kansasmx.com. We have something in the works at OTB. And we're not ready to disclose what it is. But it is a project that we have been working on for a couple weeks now, and it's an idea that we've been brewing about for a long time. And we are very excited to partner with a couple local businesses and make something really, really cool happen. And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. Are you ready, Michael? I know I'm going to tell you the hint, but I want you to act like you don't know what it is.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's huge.
Sorry.
Race companion on steroids. Yep.
Mind blown.
Yep. Okay. So goodbye. Thanks for listening to OTB. Follow us on Instagram over.the.bars. And then I believe on Instagram or on Facebook, it's OTB podcast. Not that we even post from there, but just for a little information. Yeah. Once in a while we're on there. So thanks for listening. Tell your friends about OTB and we'll see you at the races on Sunday. Goodbye.